Hello, and thank you again for joining us for Moss Talks, where we have more conversations and more culture. I'm Joel, co-founder, creative director for Moss Magazine.
I'm Sydney, co-founder, editorial director of Moss Magazine.
So, Sydney, Spotify Rap just came out, and how do you feel about your top 5 artists?
I mean, there's no surprise. My number one, as always, who has been my number one for the past 6 or so years, is
Queen.
Beyonce. And I am in the, what was it, 0.1% of listeners. Yes. So, hey, girl, if you see this,
The
long
true
time,
beehive.
big time fan, huge respect for all you do. I also had like Ariana Grande made it into my top five. Isn't surprising. I really do like her
Was it her
as
old
well.
stuff, or is it more of our new stuff for Ariana?
Oh, it's everything. Like how I have a mega playlist for Beyonce, I have a mega playlist for Ariana Grande.
Mm.
Yeah. I also got Kehlani in there. No surprise. I listened to a lot of Kehlani. And then Victoria Monet is actually number two, which I think is kind of surprising. It's not surprising she's in my top five. I'm surprised she's at number two.
Yeah. I feel like you stream Ariana more than you do Victoria Monet.
No.
Really? I say,
Mm.
because you don't have a Victoria Monet playlist, but you have an Ariana playlist.
Oh, I thought you said Rihanna.
No, no, no.
No.
Ariana.
Oh yeah, no. I thought Ariana would be number two, but I think it's On My Mama and All
Yeah.
Right. I do like those songs.
I like the song Don't Stop Asking Me for Stuff.
Oh yeah. You can say the word.
I don't know that. Anyways, but moving over to mine. Mine was interesting because I didn't think this would happen. I think it's just because like with my day job that my playlist just kind of does its own thing. Like I just let it play in the background. So I don't really control it. So it just goes to my library and picks. And like half the time I'm in kind of like a mellow mood. I don't want nothing too crazy. Just something to kind of like be background music. And surprisingly, number one was Brent. Like, I listen to Brent a lot, but not that much. I definitely don't listen to them in top 0.5%. And I'm like,
What song?
I don't, there is no song. Actually, none of his songs are in top five.
What about in your playlist they make? It's like your top 100 songs. Is he anywhere in there?
I didn't look at that yet. He might be. He probably will be. He probably just be just like from his recent album.
I was gonna say, I think it was his recent album probably snuck up on both of us. Because I don't think I realized I was listening to I don't think I realized I was listening to some of those songs as much as I was until rap came out and it was like, oh, Best Time is your number one song. So what the
Oh
heck?
yeah, that's another thing. That's probably the song. But it keeps sneaking best time into my playlist. And I want to say
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I
what I'm
like the song,
saying.
but they keep like just because I listen to it a lot don't mean it needs to be in everything that I play.
Exactly. Or like I be skipping it, but does it count the first 2 seconds you hear it?
Probably. But my next one was Sir. Sir's not surprised. He had a really good album this year. I really like the songs he did with Anderson .Paak. That was really good. And my favorite should have been number one. Number three, Kendrick Lamar. That should have been number one because I've been rocking with Kendrick for the longest. Like we had Untitled when he did Good Kid in Mad City. Like even before his recent scuffle with Drake, I loved Kendrick back then. Him being number three kind of upsets me because I listen to a lot of songs, but I don't play my work because obviously like most of the songs are not work appropriate. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, Kendrick's number three. Number four is Cleo Soul. If you know, you know. We love Cleo. And then number five, Summer Walker. Again, if you know, you know. Summer's just always got that. If you could pick your number one song, what would it be? Like in like all the songs that you heard, like, whether it be Beyonce, The Dream, Ariana, Kehlani, who was there a song you put at number one?
I don't know.
Or like I wouldn't say
I'm
like
trying to think about like what I was listening to this year. Like,
uh,
let me see what's in my rap playlist. Because
I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure.
think Best Time should have been number one.
I'm pretty sure you have songs that you would put number one. It's probably like a plethora of songs,
I
but
thought it would be After Hours by Kehlani or Anytime by Maya.
I think if I could pick, it would probably Hold Up by Kendrick Lamar. It's just it gives that ruthless vibe that I want. Like it's not very fast paced and not again it's not very slow. It's very mellow.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What song do you think defines your 2024 then? Like looking back, like what song do you think
It's a good question.
relates to this year for you?
For me, let me go to my top 100 because I listen to a lot of songs. I would say off the top of my head, not looking at anything, I would say "Ribbon in the Sky" by Stevie Wonder,
Mhm.
because it's just like the song resonates with me so much because it's even though it's a love song, it it makes me feel like there's hope, and then like and it
Right.
makes me feel sad at the same time. I guess because like I don't know. Even though it's in a song, I don't know the definition of "Ribbon in the Sky." Like to me, my explanation of "Ribbon in the Sky" is that like there's like something up there that we can always aim for, that we can always get. And so it just gives me that constant feeling of if I keep going and keep my head up, like it's just, I'll reach that ribbon like a finish line. Well, that wraps up this part of the segment. We're really excited to speak to Earthsignchels, aka Chelsea, about her music. Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning into Moss Talks. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with singer, songwriter Earthsignchels about her EP and creative process. Thank you, Earthsignchels, for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So can you walk us through the inspiration behind your debut EP, Equinox?
First thing that comes to mind is nature, balance, God, paying attention. I think I was wrapping that up in the springtime of this year, 2024. And the spring equinox was upon us. And everything was just, I was just looking at my life. And it's a balance of everything.
Yeah.
And equinox is same amount of nighttime, same amount of daytime. That's the one day. So I'm like, I take it all in stride, but it's about balance. Remaining neutral no matter what. You got a high, awesome. You got a low, awesome. That'll pass too. So that was my inspiration behind it. The songs individually, I have no clue. That's just where I was, I guess. I mean, mixture of my imagination or what's going on in my subconscious, but that's just where I was.
It's like, what are the 5 tracks? So you said you have no idea. Was it how to say, some artists they have where they have a ton of selections and they have to kind of narrow it down.
Mm-hmm.
What was the process of getting those 5 tracks together? Was it a lot you had to dumb down, or was it just happened?
Well, I always start off with an idea, and then I work on that idea,
Mhm.
and then I come up with another idea, and that one's better. But then I still find a way to expand upon the first idea, and I still follow that theme. But it's like I didn't come up with Equinox in 2023. It was like, Equinox is going to come out in the summer of 2024. Like, no, but I had an idea. I knew what I was feeling, and some sort of direction just happened. But I try not to, I cannot control how that came together. But those were the things that resonated at that time. And I said, okay, this needs to be shown to the world. And I have a feeling of what sounds good to me. So
Mhm.
a mixture of taste, a mixture of what I'm feeling. Boom. That was that.
I'm sorry, when I think of boom, I think of boom.
Boom. Yes. For real. That's literally that. Like, yeah. Yeah. Real.
So, like, in a way, would you consider it maybe like a time capsule of like where you were at in life, like in that particular moment with like choosing those 5 tracks and choosing to release, in that time?
Yeah. I don't want to make it seem like at that very moment that I released the project, that's what I was feeling at that time. But at the same time, I felt that before. I felt the need to release it. I felt the need to create it, something that come on through. And it just so happened, what was it, June 6th I put it out or something like that? That was just the time to release the baby. But I wasn't, I felt that way before, obviously. Something inside of me, something in my subconscious said, yeah, this is inside of you, let it out.
Yeah,
If that makes
yeah.
sense.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
it
that
does,
makes sense.
does.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, how do you approach songwriting?
Like a madman. I just sit in my room or wherever I'm at, I just sit there. And like the first 45 minutes to an hour, it's just like hosh posh. It's just like allowing yourself. It's being I have to allow myself to be an instrument. Like the first 45 minutes is just getting in my own way. That's what I call it. I have to get in my own way for like the first 45 minutes to an hour. And then after that, it's like, bring it on, you know?
What's your favorite part of the process? And then what's the most challenging part?
The most challenging is getting out of your own way, and the most fun is getting out of your own way.
Love that.
Yeah.
I would say, in a way, it seems like when you make these tracks, you find yourself being vulnerable to to your feelings at the time, to allow yourself to write.
Yeah, because even it's weird. Like, I don't know if you guys ever, I mean, you guys are obviously in the creative field, but like songwriting is like a fine balance of this lives in me right now.
Mhm.
And I don't remember feeling this way, but I feel this way. I feel the need to say it.
Mhm.
Or maybe I've never felt this way and I'm never going to, but somebody does. Something. It's something. I don't know, but it's a vulnerability. It is a level of vulnerability because it's coming out of my mouth. Even if I didn't feel that way, I'm the one having this interview. So like you're asking me and I'm like, yeah. But I feel like it's working through me. And it exists because I'm saying it, but you know, it's a
I feel
mystery. I don't know.
I feel the need to ask this question now, even though it's the last one. What was the idea behind the name Earthsignchels?
Oh my gosh, I know there's no asked. There's no deep meaning. I'm just an earth sign. And I was like, huh?
What's your Earth sign?
Which earth sign?
Guys, yes.
I don't want to.
Why not?
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna say Taurus.
I knew you were gonna say that. No. I'm a Virgo. You're a Virgo? Oh my gosh, I know I like you.
All right,
Yeah.
let me get back on topic.
Okay. So what got you started into making music? Like, what was your initial inspiration with that?
It's in my blood. My dad's a DJ. My mom, she sings. Her family sings. Her auntie sung background for James Brown back in the day. Like it's walking around the house singing. I used to wake up to like my dad had the whole setup for the for DJing. Like Sunday mornings when I was a kid, blasting music, like the bass coming through the walls. Like my dad, that's just what he did. Like music is just nature.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
like, what did you listen to growing up then? Like, is there any influence there?
Oh, tons. I'm an old head for sure. I hate naming names because I hate to leave out, but like Stevie, OJ's, who made Bet You Bet Golly Wow? But so many. It's so much stuff. From
the
Whitney,
Stylistics.
the Stylistics. Yeah, the Stylistics. I love the Stylistics. Whitney, like everybody.
Great taste. Great taste.
Yeah.
But you kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but to kind of expound on it a little bit. So do you have a particular process that goes into effect whenever you're making music?
Like in the studio?
Yeah, like whether you're in a studio or you're about to go to the studio, do you have something you do before you get there? And then what do you do when you get there?
Before I get there, I try my best to empty myself. Like I typically go after work.
Getting.
So I'm like, I could go straight from work, but I just tell my producer I'll go. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna stop at home. I just need a second to just sit down. If I'm on my stuff that day and I want to really take care of myself, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna intentionally empty myself. If not, stopping at home really helps me to ground me out. I need silence on the way to studio. I might ride in silence, but when I get there, our ritual is make tea. We fall off sometimes, but we try our best to, our producer and I, my engineer and I, we're gonna make some tea. Gonna chop it up about our week, about the past 2 days. Gonna ground ourselves, and then all of a sudden he'll be like, "You ready?" I'm like, "Yup." And then we get going. So it's a nice process.
You and your producer, like, do you guys work together closely, like, on most of your projects, or like kind of like what is that working relationship like between you and him?
I would say the working relationship is awesome because he is a friend to me. Everything you guys have heard since Are You Still Mad at Me? He's produced that, except of course the Rock My World remake I did. That wasn't him, but he engineered it, he recorded it. But I would say we have an awesome relationship. Outside of music, he's still a fantastic person and he's my friend, and I can trust him, and I feel like that really overflows into my music and creative process because there's a level of trust and I can be extremely vulnerable, which is where I should be vulnerable. It makes it a lot easier because it could be a different way, and I've experienced a different way. So it's amazing.
I think that's really special then. Like once you find someone you can like truly work with and like kind of just thrive with, you gotta keep them around.
Gotta keep them close. Either gifts from God. God brings people. So yeah, it's amazing.
I say I have one more question. What do you hope listeners take away after listening to your music?
Be crazy. There's no box. Don't think outside the box. There's no box. There never was a box, okay? And that's the problem. You listen to my music, I want you to have permission to just let it fly, to release. There's no judgment. You're the one making the rules. You think all these people are going to say this about you. And I mean, I make the music because I'm my own teacher, but I'm also a student to this as well. Like I'm making the music for me to prove to myself, like, there never was a box. There never was a box. So, I can't control what people take out of it, but if I could take it from me, just let it fly. And I'm gonna do my best to follow that, my damn self. So yeah.
Well, I'm curious to know, like, do you have any like upcoming projects or performances, or just like what can you tell our readers about what's happening?
I won't speak on specifics just yet, but of course, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Period.
That's good. I'm excited because like when I heard Jeepers Creeper freestyle. That's where I think it put it on TikTok, and that's how I found you 1st. And then I was like, I had listened to your discography, and I went back to Are You Still Mad at Me? And like usually when I'm diving into people's music, like people I haven't never heard of, it's honestly just playing in the background. But like I took them when I put my headphones on. I sat down and I just listened, and I was like, this really just like, even though like I say, half the time when I do music, I have to be active in some form or fashion. For me, it really like made me sit down and listen.
Okay, that's interesting.
For me, it was I listened to Are You Mad, and it was just your voice.
Yeah,
like awesome. it just stands out, and I was like,
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're gonna move on. We have a segment which is just quick fire questions. All I want you to do whenever I ask you the question, just think of the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So the first question is gonna be dream collab.
Thundercat.
Oh, good one. We're gonna come back to that. Go-to karaoke song.
Listen. This song. Beyonce.
Let's see. First concert you attended.
I think it was like a mixture of Alicia and Neo. I think they were on tour together. I was young. I think. I think it was. Yeah, right? I was, such a fever dream, but yeah, that's what I remember.
But a word or phrase you say the most?
Mama! Just because my friend Brino, we always talking like memes and stuff. And he was saying a video, and he was like, oh, Mama! Like that. But I keep saying that. I don't know, y'all, I'm stimming, but yeah. Yeah.
What favorite season of the year?
Springtime.
Springtime?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna go back to your first question where you said Dream collab Thundercat. So there's a lot of things that Thundercat does well. What's your thought process behind the Thundercat collab?
What does he play? Bass?
Yeah, he mostly plays bass.
When it was like summer of 2022. It was when I first recognized Thundercat. I was late on the train. I'm not gonna lie, but I just heard a and I'm like, I don't know, and then so I went to check out his discography and the lyrics. He's animated. He shows personality, and he talks about the most human, heartbreaking stuff. I'm like, yo, This guy got his feelings hurt, but I'm
Mhm.
still gonna crack a joke, and I'm still gonna say some off the wall stuff. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, because, but I mean, just like, I don't know. I love him and I don't know him, but his music just really speaks to me. It just really does. It really does.
And for your karaoke song, this is the obvious choice. Like this is easily like in the shower, in public, in
Yeah.
anywhere. Like it's goated.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember I went to see Dreamgirls with my family
And
as a child. You know, when we were kids when it came out into theaters, and it was like it sparked something in my head, like, I could do the singing, I could do the acting, and yeah, it was, I don't know, it was just amazing. I love that movie. I gotta watch it soon.
Yes. So also I love Dreamgirls too.
Yes,
Quote it
so
and
good.
everything. If you
So
watch it with
good.
me, it's a performance.
No,
so
it
I'm
is.
sorry.
So we'll have to do that, because yeah, we'll have to sing along.
no, I can attest to that because my sister, she watched Dreamgirls. So she watched Dreamgirls, but I was not there when she watched Dreamgirls, and I'm like 12, 13 at the time. And so she comes home. When I tell you, I did not have. I went a month with no silence.
Cause she kept singing it,
Yeah,
quoting
she
it.
kept singing it, and like my sister is a very good singer, and so I'm like, she's not doing a bad job, so I can't tell her to be quiet, but at the same time, it's like she won't be quiet at all.
No, you can't be quiet. It had too many quotables. It had too much good music. The soundtrack was just freaking amazing. You can't. The storyline, sassy, messy. Like, what? You're telling me she pregnant? You talking about we are family? Like, like what? I'm with child. Like, I don't want to hear none of that. I'm stressed out. Like, yeah.
And then have the nerve to steal her song 12 years later.
Like, what's going on?
And did it better?
What's going on? Got me a Cadillac car. Oh my God. That just got me thinking. Okay, I'm gonna watch that when we get out of here. I'm gonna watch that.
I'm gonna ask another question about your last question. Your favorite season of the year? Why spring?
Spring is the moment where you go, oh, it's literally okay. Like, everything was dormant for like the past few months. Like, there wasn't much going on. It was cold. I walk outside, I'm uncomfortable. In life, when it's wintertime, you gotta stay in the house. Well, that's what I do. I just sit still, and I'm like, man, I ain't got nothing else to do. I might as well think something. But like, I don't know, you just come out of hibernation, and like the earth just comes alive. And so do we. We get to pop out. We get to, show our faces, get sexy, get outside. But I mean, nature reflects the same thing. It's just freaking beautiful. Like, it's amazing how it just knows to become colorful at the same time every year. Yeah, I love spring.
I'm gonna say I only ask that because most of the time, like spring, to the people that hate spring, I don't hate spring, but the people that hate spring, like to them, it's like where bugs come out, bees are out, yellow jackets are out, all of these like pollen is everywhere, you're sneezing, coughing, you're hot, like it's just all of that.
Okay, I get that. I understand that because the bugs, I mean, they exist. But once you really look at them, I mean, I still have my fear. So if you see me outside and it's a bug, I try my best not to kill it, but I be like, I do stuff like that. If you really take a moment to like look at a bug, they're actually freaking beautiful. If you look up close, from a far away, it's just a nigga in your ear, like zipping and zapping, and they can be like atrocious looking. But up close, look at God's creatures. Like, they're full of patterns and all kinds of stuff. So you have to change your perspective. Like,
yeah, that is true.
They're actually really beautiful. They can be annoying, but I mean, they just trying to live like everybody else. That's the God's honest truth.
I see. Yeah, it is just a matter of perspective.
Yeah. Because what you gonna do if you don't change your perspective? They're gonna be around. What you gonna do?
Yeah, like
exactly.
You're gonna be miserable all the time.
Yeah. Right. So it's on you. So yeah, just get used to it because they ain't going nowhere.
But that wraps up our interview with Earthsignchels for today. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun. It was so nice to sit and talk about just music and art. It was so much fun. I appreciate
Yeah.
it so
Of
much.
course, yes. And for those listening, please, please go tune in to Earthsignchels. Look her up, follow her on Instagram, TikTok, all the places. Follow her on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen. Get into her, for real.
Yes. Thank y'all so much.
She brought up a good point where you said there's not a box, and like I feel like that really entails the life I want to live, or like who I want to be. Because like obviously, like growing up, there are things where it's like your parents tell you anything's possible, but then you go through society and that appears not to be the case. And so I think it's important to always instill that memory in people that you can do anything, that anything's possible. Like you said, let it fly.
I mean, I feel like that's, something that's needed even more now, even more than ever before. Because I feel like it's easy for people to kind of just want to like fit in to like be cool or, like they're scared to stand out in a way. So,
Yeah, I think
and
it's
also
even
just like follow your heart too, because I feel like now people are just doing things. I mean, yes, we have to live and survive, but I think people sacrifice that and forget, their passions and just explore different interests and hobbies.
I say exploring those hobbies, like like working jobs and doing these certain things. It kind of depending on the job, it doesn't really help with what you want to do. Well, it never really helps because it's not what you want to do at the end of the day. But I think even to our readers and our listeners, it's very important, this message, because like we want to give the platform, and so being able to remind the people that see other creatives that we're featuring, it's that a message that there's no box, there's no mold that you have to stay inside of. Like you can do what you want, like Nike, just do it. Like Earthsignchels, let it fly.
You can do whatever you want, be whatever you want. We featured so many bajillion different types of artists and creatives, and no one is like the same. They all have their own thing, their own niche.
Yeah,
So yeah, like it's boundless.
literally, and like in their own way, they're all a human being, but they're all in different ways being human. They're all being different people at the end of the day.
Yep.
I think that what makes them really very, very individual and very special. Like again, like we said earlier, please listen to Earthsignchels music. Please, please, please check her out. She's doing some great work. Has a really nice voice. Check out Apple Music, Spotify, and
Instagram, YouTube,
Mhm.
TikTok, all the places.
But yeah, well, that's been our time today. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Feel free to like, comment, and continue to support us on every platform as well. Have a good day.